This feels strange, but, hi. Wait. Hi! I can understand you. Oh, this is awesome! This must be magic, right? Tom got very excited at the prospect of actually being able to ask questions. Yes, this is a translated circle, currently translating your words to ours, and vice versa, the old man had clarified before stepping back. Well, hello, it came from the old lady. You shouldn't be getting out of your bed when healing, you know that, right? Sorry, I wanted to take a look around before you guys woke up. And why would you feel the need to snoop around alone? I kinda got bored. Tom really wanted a better explanation, but none came to him, unfortunately. Sorry. No matter. You only managed to hurt yourself in doing so. Speaking of which, you took quite the pounding before Dakota found you, if I'm correct. You could say that, yes. It was a rough start. The buggers nailed me twice with that tell thing. Why, you are a tough little bastard. How long were you out? Wait, you took 2 doses? Dakota interjected. But you were back fighting in no time. Yeah. Is that bad? No, it's just... we would be laying there for hours with 2 stabs. Well, Sapphire didn't need as many painkillers as I expected. Correlation, maybe? What are painkillers, and why did you give them to Sapphire? The old lady interjected, glaring at Dakota, seeming to not be pleased to be cut off. Well, it's a medicine against pain, and she was in pain, so... Ah, the bees she talked about. I would rather you refrain from giving any of my people more of your medication. It seems to affect us differently. She was getting quite sick. I see. Tom suddenly got quite a bit smaller, Sapphire thought, clearly not happy with the news. I think the doses might have been too high. She got 2 yesterday. I usually take 3 or 4, though. I see. Now, before we go on, I am Lady Nunuk Bismuthi, and this is my keep. You have met my daughter Dakota and her 4 huntresses. This kind gentleman standing before you is my husband, Apuma. To your right is my son Rapchok, first in command of the guard, and to your left is Anchor, second in command of the guard here. Seated around you are most of the people of this keep. And you are? Right. I'm Thomas Hansen, just call me Tom. Ex-army, I guess ex-mechanical engineer and explorer, now come to think of it, huh? Well, first off, pleasure to meet you. Second, where are you from? And thirdly, what is a mechanical engineer? And what's army? Well, I'm from a country called Denmark, which is in Europa, on a world called Earth. But as far as I've been able to figure out, I'm no longer in that world. I'm not sure I follow. Nunuk seemed extremely skeptical, and there were much head-turning and squabbling among the rest of the people present. Then Apuma interjected. You're saying you are not just from far away, where you're from doesn't exist here? Yeah, that is one way of putting it. Tom scratching his neck, looking at the floor. How did you get here, then, and what are you? Nunuk had demanded. I was sent, I believe, via magical transportation of some kind. I was given the offer by a stranger, promising a life of adventure in the world I could only dream of. I agreed, packed my things, and ended up here. As for what I am, we call ourselves humans. To your earlier question, a mechanical engineer is a person who designs machines. Huh, was all Sapphire had managed to get out. Their guests were from another world entirely. It certainly provided a good explanation for why he knew so little, yet seemed well prepared. As the questioning continued, Apuma had started to take over, being the resident expert on law and the like. Apparently Tom was from a world where there was no magic? But nearly everything he owns is magic, Fengi had burst out. Is that so? Nunuk said, turning to Tom. It's not magic, it's technology and machines. We don't have magic. My guns use explosive powder to fling metal at my enemies. My quad bike burns fuel to move. My music box uses tamed lightning and metal circuitry to power it. What is a quad bike? Nunuk had asked, looking at Sapphire. It's a cart that moves by itself. Quite fast too. We raced it against Jackalope. And I won! Jackalope quick as always when it came to flaunting her success. Okay then, so you don't have magic, and yet you can tame lightning and fire. How can that be? Well, so you You have metal, right? Forging is a way of taming fire. My people have just found more uses for it. You will probably master lightning too, in time. Right, this doesn't sound like something we can figure out quickly. So, let's say I believe you. Why are you here and what do you want? I'm an explorer, looking for new things and experiences. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm in a place full of new. So, if possible, I would like to stay. At least for a while. Okay then. Dakota tells me you are a friend, so you may stay, but you won't be staying on our good graces. You will have to pull your weight. Do you think that is possible? I believe I can do more than that, Your Highness. Lady Bismuty or ma'am will do it. Gets formal enough in here already. Not to put a damper on things, but won't he be back to not speaking our language once he leaves the circle? Dakota had interjected. Yes, that is a problem. For the time being, I'm guessing we will have to school you. You may add that to the debt of gratitude you owe my daughter for saving you. I just want to say, thus far Tom has been extremely friendly. He has shown us many new things and shared what he had with us. I'm certain having him stay will be of great reward in the long run. Dakota spoke up again. No need to worry, Dakota. I'm not going to kick him out. Right, I guess I better go get my things then. Tom had asked tentatively. Not just yet. Anyone within this keep is sworn to defend it, and those that call it home. I would have you take this oath if you want to stay here. You said you have been in the army before. Yes, ma'am. I was Danish Army, combat engineer, rank lieutenant, and volunteer in the Home Guard. An officer, even? Well, in that case, the oath of the Guard will do, I think. Sounds like you have experience in the area too with this Home Guard. That seems fair enough. Tom didn't really know if this was a good idea, but he guessed it would earn him some more friends and a warmer welcome here. And so far, his bad ideas had yielded better than 50-50 odds of success, so why not? Besides, he did want to stay here for a while at least. Not like a few words couldn't really hurt anyway. Recite after me. Nanuka stood up and walked in front of Tom, placing her right hand on her chest. I solemnly swear to uphold the good name of this keep and the name of Bismuty. I shall stand in the defence of my keep against any that would seek to harm it or those who call it home. I shall perform my duty by the will of my lord or lady, and always remain vigilant in my duty. I shall not seek to do harm to that which I have sworn to protect, for such would be my undoing. Tom had recited the phrase as best he could. It took a try or two, but he got it in the end. Sapphire was stunned. The old lady really knew how to keep her cool. All that seemingly impossible information being thrown at her, and she just extracted an oath from the situation? Well, new guard, I guess, she thought to herself. Well, with that I believe you should get some rest. My husband will take you for another session or two like this, so we may learn and explain a thing or two. Nona continued. Until then, you should get some rest. I'll come around again to check you didn't worsen your situation again. Not to be rude, but what about my card? You really shouldn't touch it before I can show you how it works. We will leave it be for now, don't you worry. From what Dakota has been telling me, you have brought some dangerous things with you. Besides, we do not steal from one another. Nanuka glared a bit at Tom, as if to emphasize her point on that last one. Best keep my fingers to myself, he thought. We will talk more tomorrow, with you in your bed this time. The circle around him that had been glowing slightly faded. Apuma looked pretty tired. Tom thought stumbling a bit, being caught by Dakota. This was clearly quite demanding on the old man. He would still need to learn the language as quickly as possible then. This could not be relied upon. He had been returned to the infirmary by the two guards with him, and laid down. After a short while, Sapphire had joined him, along with the rest of the Huntresses. They had spoken for a while. Tom managed to get Esmeralda's attention, making a gesture of a box, and started humming a melody. She smiled widely at him, clearly getting the message. Well, that was a lot to unpack. Dakota had started, as they made it towards the infirmary. He is even weirder than we thought, Esmeralda had noted. And even crazier too. Imagine just being like, I don't like it anymore. I'm just going to leave everything and not be able to come back, maybe ever. Jackalope had a point, and it clearly didn't sit well with her. She had lost her home when she was little. The thought of willingly abandoning it was probably hard for her to handle. And he claims he doesn't know magic. I mean, come on. That's absurd. Fengi had chimed in, clearly not believing the stories they had just heard. As they entered the infirmary, Tom was already there looking at them as they returned. Well, he is both the weirdest and kindest stranger I have ever met, so I think he might be telling the truth, Sapphire had concluded. They had continued to discuss what exactly they were to do. He needed to learn Draconic, stay in his bed, and they needed to store his things somewhere. For now, though, he was stuck here with Sapphire. I might as well get started with him. Let's start with a yes, no, and other simple things. Hey, where are you going, Essie? He wants the music box, Esmeralda said, running out of the door. Right, of course he did. At least this shouldn't be a boring stay, Sapphire thought to herself. How am I supposed to keep him in bed for a week anyway? Make him want to. He clearly wants to learn, so be interesting, Dakota had said, sounding a bit too sassy, Sapphire thought. Very helpful. Maybe we can get him some more toys from his kike? The word was hard to pronounce, and it didn't sound quite right. She began to wonder if he could even speak their language. She certainly found his hard. You make him sound like a kid in need of entertainment, Dakota pointed out. Well, how would you describe him? Jackalope clearly finding the comparison apt. This is going to be a long week, Sapphire sighed, laying down at last.